push me harder. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I think that's gonna hold. I've got to build 2 gates for their opening driveway. We're going to have a new entrance, a wider entrance between the shop and the fence running along the edge of the property. Because right now we only have like 14-foot wide entrance. And so I'm building 2, I think like 13.5-foot gates. So we'll have like a 29-foot entrance, give or take a few inches. So I've been tasked to get this all built. We're going to put a logo on it. And then, once that's all built, then we can tear out that old fence you can see up there in the corner. It's going to get everything opened up. That fence won't be in there anymore, and those oil tanks, I'll actually have a pull-through bay, and that fence can't be there. It'll be in the way. So we're making a new gate, new entrance. It will be automated, so it'll open and close at certain times. It'll be really nice. So we're gonna try and build something kind of fancy, nothing too crazy, just something to keep vehicles from going in and out, because people can just jump a fence, so it's not going to be anything super secure, but we're gonna try and make it super nice. So here we go. So this is the rough draft of what we're building here. Got these 45'd on each corner. I have that 45'd, but I know that's not what the dimensions are going to be. Same with one of these ends too. But right now, I'm just going to put it up there and then measure it and figure out the angles. Looks good. Alright, I figured I'd show real quick what I did. I want it to be 165 from this corner to that corner. I cut this at 167, so I had a little overlap so it wouldn't fall off. Then I marked with that piece in its spot, and this piece in its spot, I marked the flat edge. Same with over there. Took my angle finder. It's 83 degrees on this side. 97 degrees on this side. Take and divide that in half. You get 48.5. So you mark 48.5 on that side. 48.5 on this side. Same with over here, it was 41.5. Mark these 2 edges. So I just need to cut everything and it should all just butt right up. So now if I want to cut these angles on the chop saw, this angle is different. So what you're supposed to do is minus 90 from your number. So this is 41.5. So you go 90 minus 41.5. 90 minus 83 is 41.5. And then 90 minus 48.5 is 41.5. Which is kind of funny, it's just opposite. But if you have basic geometry, it's supposed to add up to, you know, if you got 2 90s, it's supposed to add up to 180 degrees. And so, like if I come over here, I want to cut this at 41.5. I've got my blade up against it to double check it. And this is what it comes out to be. It's past 45. Focus. Past 45, so it's 48 and a half. It's opposite with the chop saw. Kind of interesting how that works. Someone explained it once, I don't remember how, but because this saw is at 90 degrees, you have to minus 90 from the angle that you want to cut, and then you get the correct angle. I just noticed I wrote that wrong. That's supposed to be 41 and a half, but it still comes out to the same thing. It's just so weird. Geometry. Interrupt this gate. Now I gotta make cone ties. I build a jig. Anyone who's ever made cone ties with me will appreciate this. So I've got some T-track, so I can make up to 6 foot cone ties. I can do 2 at a time. Just adjust this too, and then this is just a little center. I'm gonna spray some anti-spatter on there. I'll tell you what though, in the time it took me to make one of these the old way, I can make like 4 of these. It is quite the game changer. What I had to do before is I'd butt the cone up against the bolt, and I'd have a nut here somewhere welded, and it'd be flat up against the table, and you'd try and fiddle with one hand to try and keep pressure on them so the size doesn't change, and then tack them up and weld them. It's just so much easier now. Just put 4 pieces on there, and I can just grab it, put a little pressure on it to make sure it stays, and pull it this way, and then use my thumb to push that way. Super easy to grab. Tack them up, roll them, weld them, just a little 1-inch weld, boom, done. So much easier. Having that bandsaw over there makes a huge difference in time saving. I went ahead and I bought the Hercules from Harbor Freight. This thing is so awesome. I love it. That saves a whole bunch of time as well. In the past, what we've done is we've had like one person cutting cone ties while another person welds, and it would take, boy, like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours just to make 75 cone ties. One person cutting, one person welding. Now I can do 100 cone ties, and I can cut and weld myself and do 100 cone ties and do it all by myself. It's just, the time savings is just phenomenal. working on the logo. Cut it out of wood first, see if it was gonna be a good fit. And then I'll cut it out of metal. Talking about powder coating it and bolting it on. And then just spray painting the gate black. And then here's another thing I did. This is only 14 gauge. I did some gussets to strengthen it up. And since the hinges are going in the back, got the hinge there. I put a piece of flat stock on here, spot welded it in the center, welded it on the edges. Then I've got a piece of pipe that goes through so it doesn't squeeze it and collapse it. But hopefully, with one there and one over there, it'll be strong enough to hold up this big old long thing and it won't bend. That's the plan. Got another gussets over here. So with any luck, it'll be structurally sound, but we'll see. I just got to get the boss to approve that. And then I can start cutting that out of metal and get it powder coated. Figured I better hang it up and make sure it all works. It is so nice. There's no flexing in the back. It's nice and strong and so smooth. Just opens right up. It's great. I'm excited. That's awesome. Now I just got to finish building the logos and painting and whatnot. Get this all painted and greased up. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Now I gotta build the other one. So I've got the logo all cut out. Trying to make it 3D. What I've done, I don't know if this will work. I'm assuming it'll work. I can kind of already see it. I used a grinding wheel for these edges, and I used flat discs for the opposite edges. And I've got grind marks going this way and grind marks going this way, and they're two different textures to try and give it that optical illusion. See if I can get the light on it. You can kind of see how it's like it's brighter on these ones and it's more dull on these ones. And then what I'll do is I'll tape this off. I'll sandblast this portion, tape this off, powder coat these white, take off the tape. After it's got a partial cure, I'll powder coat the whole thing gray. So then we'll have the optical illusion of the scratches cast in different shadows, and then also a lighter gray on the edge than on the center. And actually this will be red, this will be gray, but it'll be the same white. I'll cover it, and that should kind of make it more 3D. Let's see how that turns out. So, compressor, blaster, got everything hung. It needs to be blasted. I made this sandblaster out of a propane tank. Not going to share too much details about it because if you're not a professional welder, probably shouldn't be welding the pressurized tanks. You don't want that sucker blowing up on you. It would not be fun. I'll get all suited up and we'll get this blasted. Yeah, I got a lot of, I don't know, flack from when I was buying parts for the sandblaster because I bought the hose and fittings to attach it to the sandblaster from a sandblasting company. They sold parts and accessories, but their main thing is abrasives. And I had mentioned I was building my own sandblaster, and I'm like, "You're making a bomb. If you don't know what you're doing, you're making a bomb. You shouldn't do that. Just buy one of ours." I understand. I understand that it could be dangerous, but if you do it right, it's not that dangerous. This sandblaster works awesome. I spent $400 making this sandblaster. I bought the tip from off Amazon. It's a really nice tip. It's not the tungsten one, but it's similar. I can't remember what the name was. It works great. I have a 50-pound sandblaster that I bought from Eastwood. It works. It works decent. You run it for like 20 minutes and then you got to stop and then you got to fill it and then it just sucks. This right here holds 240 pounds of abrasive material. It's really nice. I really like it. I really should maybe add a pressure gauge. I still need to add a blow-off relief valve, so if it goes over 110 psi, it blows off for safety reasons. But all in all, it does a really good job. I'm really happy with it. And then the helmet I got off of Amazon also. It's nice having some air going into your helmet. Keeps you nice and cool. Man, you sweat like a son of a gun and anything else. This is my oven. There's the controller. It's probably the most expensive thing out of the whole shebang. Building this. Got 4 elements. 6 foot tall. I believe it's 4 foot wide and 3 feet deep. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I measured it. Hopefully here in the next few months, I'm going to make it 2 feet taller. I'm going to take the floor off and make it 2 feet taller. But it works. Gets up the temp, holds temp, works pretty good. While lifting that rack up into there, it's not the easiest because I have it up off the floor. But once it gets at home, I'll make the floor flat. And I'll have to pick it up in there. Ooh, especially with all that metal on it. But now, we're gonna keep an eye on it. When the powder reaches flow out, so where it looks wet, we're gonna pull it out. We're not gonna fully cure it because I'm putting more powder over the top. That'll help them bond together better. So once it hits flow out, we'll pull it off, let it cool. Don't make the mistake of spraying it while it's warm. Did that one time. I had 2 parts. One was cool, one was not. One was bigger than the other. I did not realize it. Sprayed them both. It started turning. And when I sprayed it, I was like, whoa, whoops. So that's what's next. So it looks like fresh wet paint. So we'll pull it out. Anytime you're doing masking like this, you want to pull it right as it gets hot too, and then you'll have nice clean lines. Okay, Got everything pulled off. Let it cool down. We'll start adding some color to these right over the top of everything. So I've got this one here did not want to take to the powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot flock it. And now that it's hot and it's up flow out, I'm just going to spray directly on it. Don't even need a ground to it, because we're just going to spray powder directly on the hots and just kind of paint it. You gotta try not to get it too thick. I'm going to turn this up. Might be getting low on powder too. There we go. We'll just keep doing that on all of it. That is a good looking red. I'm sure it'll change after I heat it up, but we'll stick it in there. I remember why I don't like hot flocking again. If you're gonna hot flock, you have to hot flock the whole part, or you're gonna get an orange peel effect on the very edge of your hot flocking. So you got to do the whole thing. So I'll fix this. Fix both parts. So the white underneath is not standing out as much as I'd like. Out in the sun you can kind of tell this side is the white underneath, but I was hoping it'd have like a lighter tint. Maybe I should have just bought a red that had a lighter tint. Playing with a couple ideas. This is thin, of course, but this one I sanded down because I hot flocked it and had orange peel. And I kind of like the dark red line with a little added, looks like texture in there. But this isn't too bad either. I'll probably still sand it and repowder coat it. I gotta ask the boss which one he wants to do, because I could put a super gloss over the top of this, but I don't know. I need something to stand out the corner. So I gotta see what he wants. See which one he likes. Okay, after fixing it a couple times, this is what we ended up with. We decided to just sand the edge, since it wasn't standing out like we'd hoped, to make it more flat. And and then just leave the rest of it kind of glossy. So I sprayed everything, and then I just took some 220 grit sandpaper, and I just sanded the edge down just enough to where it'd be flat instead of glossy. And this is the finished product. Everybody loves it. Looks great, and we'll get the gate all painted and put together and slap her on there. I was so excited to get this finished, I forgot to record anything on this gate. I sandblasted it. I tossed a primer on there. Then I tossed on the some duplicolor bed armor, so it's textured and it's kind of can take a little bit of a beating. So I painted that on there, let that all cure, and then welded it all up to the poles. And this is the finished product right here. And of course I had to put something in the way to keep the gate from swinging, because one swings one way and the other one swings the other way. It's kind of funny. Once they get the concrete in, then they'll hook up the motors and make it all automated and whatnot. It'll be pretty sweet. So now we have a nice wide opening compared to what we had before. It's awesome.